Early on in my relationship with Lauren, one thing became crystal clear quickly, and here's what it was. Lauren had expectations that I would be romantic and that I was this kind of GQ Casanova who knew how to schedule things out and plan things in such a way that I wooed her heart consistently. And she didn't want me to ask her about how to get that done, but rather wanted me to just spontaneously know what would make her feel loved and valued. And so it would play itself out in a scenario like she would be on the phone with one of her girlfriends talking about this restaurant that she really wanted to go to and how she had heard such great things about the food and the atmosphere and how beautiful it was. And I'm driving the car thinking about college football and the game my squad was going to be playing that weekend and totally missed it. And so what I want to do here is I want to enter this strange space, this space that most men in particular don't want to invade. And that's this tension between a woman who desires and longs to be pursued and valued and romanced, and men who in their passivity have punted on that pursuit because they don't know how. And so I want to enter that space, and with the Word of God and with what I hope to be some very practical helps, help us men see romance in a greater light and help our women and wives adjust expectations accordingly. And so this should be a fun session that leads to a lot of good conversation afterwards. Let's get it. Then from here, let's look at the rest of verse 11 on into the end of this chapter. Come, my beloved, let us go out into the fields and lodge in the villages. Let us go out early to the vineyards and see whether the vines have budded, whether the grape blossoms have opened and the pomegranates are in bloom. There I will give you my love. The mandrakes give forth fragrance, and beside our doors are all choice fruits, new as well as old, which I have laid up for you, O my beloved. Now, a couple of things I want to talk through in this text in particular. The first is not only should you be paying attention, not only should you be fighting for fun, but a third log to be thrown on the fire is the imperative log of romance. All right, we must fight for this. Some of us are better than others, but this must be approached with great discipline. Now, some people are really turned off by the idea that romance is to be disciplined, but it is. Especially as life gets moving, there must be discipline. So the most romantic man I ever met that kind of helped me see the importance of this is a guy that just is in a different league. His name was Dudley Callison. I was in my 20s. He was in his 30s, had been married about 10 years, and he told this story. Here's how he got engaged. He asked his girlfriend out on a date. They had been courting. They had talked about marriage, and he picked her up in his car. And they drove out to this lake, and then they get in this canoe, and they canoe out to this island in the middle of the lake. And he had some of his interns set up dinner out there and served, dressed in little, goofy tux t-shirts, served them a candlelit dinner on this little island in the middle of the lake. And after they finished dinner, this speedboat swung up, and then they got in the speedboat and played around on the lake in this speedboat. And then when they got back to shore, his car was gone and a limousine was there. And so then they get in this limousine and they drive to this little private airstrip, and he had a buddy who's in a different tax bracket than us, and they get in this little plane, and he took off in the plane, and they kind of flew through these mountains and landed on this little grass strip near a college, and then walked into the chapel of this college where it was completely set up for a wedding, and there was a card up front with her name on it. All right, and she walked out and opened up the card, and it just said, "Will you?" and then said, "Turn around." Boom, Dudley's on his knee with the ring out. Tears, yes, ring. They go outside, and there's this beat up ghetto little truck, rusted out bucket of bolts. They get in that beat up truck and they drive to dinner. When they got to dinner, all of her friends and family were there. Everybody was like, yay, and they celebrated. And then later that night, after everything was over, here's what Dudley said to her. He said, each one of the vehicles we were in today was symbolic of an aspect of our relationship. My car is just the normal ins and outs of our day. The canoe is representative of the fact that we're going to have to work together to get certain places. The limo were those times in our lives where other people were going to drive towards the destination. The speedboat was the fun that we're going to have in life. The airplane was kind of our spiritual ascent with one another, and the beat-up old truck was us growing old together. And I thought, don't you ever tell that story again. Do you realize what you have done? Like, really, you going to put that on me right now? Dudley, are you serious? And so, like, that's a dude, like, that's just now. That dude didn't Google that. All right, God just designed him like some sort of romance robot. And then on top of that, here was the thing he had done, and I've been out of contact with Dudley for years, but the other thing is he got married on the 31st. And so there's only so many 31sts a year. And so every 31st, regardless of the month, whether it's his anniversary or not, he gets his wife a little gift, but he doesn't wrap it or anything. He just puts it. So he gets her favorite perfume, and he just puts it with all the rest of her perfumes. He gets her a new shirt, and he just hangs it in her closet. He gets her a CD that she had been wanting. All right, now keep in mind, this is quite a while ago. You're like, what's a CD? All right. Gets a CD and just puts it in her car so that when she turned on her car, it would play. Just things like that. He would never tell her that he did it. He would just get them and put it there. And he said after about 5 or 6 years, he could see she would wake up and just start to kind of look around the house. I mean, that dude's just friggin' smooth. Now, let's be straight. That's not most of us as men. It's not most of us as women. I mean, he's otherworldly. But here's what I would say to you. The log of romance is imperative. And most men throw all the weight of their romance on like 3 national holidays. You know, we're going to be romantic on your birthday, and by romantic, what restaurant do you want to eat at? On Valentine's Day, we're going to begrudgingly, because it's a ridiculous holiday laid out there by card companies, drawn back, attached to Roman cupidity that really is no celebration of love at all. And so they'll buy some roses or something like that, and then on the anniversary. And so men, let me encourage you this way. You're better than that. And if you're like, well, no, I'm really not. Okay, let me try to help you. You have something that men historically have never had. The internet. Let me just we'll dumb it down as dumb as I can get it. Pick 2 dates a year and do something creative for your wife that are not on her birthday, that are not on some national holiday, that are not your anniversary. Just 2 creative dates a year. Find them on your calendar, put them on your calendar, and Google some way to surprise her. Now, let me show you how these things start to work together. If you are paying attention, here's what you will hear your wife say. When you're walking painfully through the mall or wherever she gets her clothes, she'll go, oh my God, I love that. Now, here's what you should do, and you should be like, all right? As she's looking through a magazine, do you think that's cute? That's amazing. When she puts that down, you're like, Evernote, filed, okay? You are paying attention. Oh, I want to see this. Ooh, I love this book. Gosh, I love this restaurant. This is my favorite candy. I love these 2 things combined. I would love to, right? You're paying attention so that on these 2 days a year, you can creatively surprise and pursue the heart of your wife. I do believe the brunt of romantic pursuit falls on the shoulders of the man. Pursue her, surprise her. It doesn't have to be extravagant or expensive. My wife's favorite gift that I ever gave to her was a picture of me at 5 and a picture of her at 5. And I just wrote on the back, even at this age, God was preparing me for you and you for me. That you know what that present cost me? Around $9. And I bet you I could have bought her diamond earrings and she would have preferred the picture. See, we're not talking about extravagant amounts of money. Be romantic. Find 1 or 2 dates a year that aren't on some sort of normal celebratory date. Or just bring her home flowers or just something to say, I'm thinking about you. Gosh, so much technology at your fingertips. Just text her, thinking about you. Send her an inappropriate text. I'm not talking about a picture, all right? Don't go someplace I'm not going. Women don't work that way. Don't do that, all right? Gosh, I'm getting tired. Off the rails. I knew this was coming. Session after this will be far worse. No, just something flirty. Just something fun. This is a way for you to romance. And ladies, when you guys do some of that, let's not pretend that men don't want to be desired and pursued. Now, I earnestly believe, biblically speaking, that they should be the primary pursuer. But flirt with your husband. Show initiation. Surprise him. Initiative, not initiation. It's not like, shave your head, yeah, you know. I think pursue, love, romance, speak life into. I will say this. Wives hold an unbelievable amount of power over the emotional and intellectual well-being of their husbands. No one can wound me like Lauren. No one. So, big boy pants on, pastor a large church, constantly am criticized where I could have done this better, should have done that, should have said this was wrong, you could have handled this situation. So I'm used to taking a beating. So if you send me an email about how incompetent I am, if you're a covenant member, I'll respond to you almost always nicely, usually attaching the other elders onto that to shame you. And I'll tell you this, I'm going to go to bed and just know that I've done what's right before the Lord and I'll sleep just fine. Lauren can say similar things to me and it be crushing. So ladies, use your mouth to speak life into your husband. This goes back, again, being an expert on his strengths and let him know you're so good at this. Weave romance into the fabric of your relationship. It's a log on the fire, and it doesn't have to be complex. The other thing we see here is just get away. Get away, break up the monotony. Now, the argument I've heard about getting away is that it's expensive, and how are we supposed to do that, and we don't make a lot of money, and I work hourly, and what? Listen, just redeem the time. Whatever time you can get, redeem it. And so often, some of my favorite moments with Lauren are early in the morning before the kids get up, when her and I are drinking coffee on the back porch. So one of the habits I've formed over the years is I get up in the morning, I make our coffee, and I make Lauren's coffee, and I bring that coffee to Lauren. And then Lauren will, her and I will go out, sit on the back porch, and we'll just talk. And that, even as small as it is just a little bit of a getaway. If we have date night, we will oftentimes add some things on the back end to make sure we don't get home before the kids have been put down. So our date night will be over, and then it'll be like, oh, you want to just stop somewhere and get a drink? They're not going to be in bed yet. Okay, let's do that. And so just little redeeming of the time. There are times that we just have a lunch date, and where you can afford to get away, try to get away. Try to pull out of all the craziness that's going on and make sure you're focused just on one another in those times and seasons. And that's what his wife just did. Let's get out of here. And she was extremely erotic, flirty about it. All right, I've got old fruits, all the ones you enjoy, and I've got some new things for you. You don't think he's moving some meetings around? You're going to have to cancel that. I've got to go out of town. It's an emergency. Right? I mean, she's flirty. Hey, let's get out of here. All the fruits that you like are going to be by our door, and I've got some new fruit. Like, I don't even know what that means, but I'm in. I don't even need you to tell me what those new fruits are. Let's go find out, right? And so getting away, breaking out of the monotony, taking time out of our day, taking time out of our year to pull back, to reflect, to ask each other some questions. So Lauren alluded to this in the Q&A for years, and even now, I'll do it again in July. At our anniversary and a couple of times a year, I will ask these questions of Lauren with I will not defend myself, I will not require explanation, I will not, what am I doing well and what do I need to get better at? And I'm not fishing for compliments. I want to know, where can I get better? Where can I help you? Where can I, on top of that kind of weekly, here's what's going on, I'm saying, overall, what could I get better at? How could I serve you more effectively? And I've already postured my heart and tried to. This is one of those areas in our relationship after our first 7 years that I had to say, oh, my dove in the cleft of the rock. Because this is one of those ways that I think I just was such a terrible man, is Lauren would feel a certain way, and I'd be quick to invalidate those feelings. Well, here's how I feel. Well, let me tell you why you shouldn't feel that way. So now not only does she still feel that, but now she feels dumb for feeling that. And so I would never acknowledge that the feeling was legitimate. I would give her facts at why she shouldn't feel that way. And so it took me a while to get Lauren to trust me enough to say, yeah, I think you could do this better. I think this would be more helpful. I think if you could weave this into what I know you're already doing, I think that would be of great benefit to our family. And I want to create an honest, open feedback loop where she can say to me, this is an area that you need to grow in, baby, and I love you. I'm for you. Without me attacking or building up a defense or explaining why that's not true. That's hard to do at 6:30 at night when I walk in the front door with 3 screaming kids and dinner to be had, and right? That's not the time for that conversation. But if we can get away a bit, then let's have that conversation. And some of you, when you're planning these kind of getaways or these date nights or these, you need to put in your head, I'm going to push the conversation into these waters. And not we're going to go out and talk about the kids. Even though there's a time to talk about your kids. There's a time to consider, how do you think this one's doing? How can we encourage and build up this one? These are conversations Lauren and I have. So let's take this one right now. Where does he need a little bit more daddy time? Where does he need a little bit more mommy time? Where's he kind of struggling? Where can we speak life into him? How can we encourage him? And we'll do that, but there are times that we've got to lay down the no kid talk tonight. This is me, you, your heart, my heart. Where are we? This is a log on the fire where she feels a safe place to share, where I feel safe in hearing, and we walk together in that. The last thing here is getting away, breaking the monotony, being romantic, paying attention, seeing those things that only you get to see. And then here's the last one. Probably the greatest enemy of keeping the fire burning is just laziness. It's just laziness. We must guard against the tendency to downshift into tepid relational dynamics. Tepid relational dynamics. Again, I do not believe that the fires of passion should be at honeymoon level all the days of your life or something's broken. In fact, I would say if it's burning that hot all the time, something is broken. But all of us called by God to tend the fire, to watch it, to keep an eye on it. When it gets low, to throw more wood, more fuel on the fire to keep it burning. And so if you're in a place where that fire's gone, in fact, that whole thing is just cold ice, like you could just hang meat up in that mug, all right? It's just dead cold. Well, remember, we are covenant people. We have given ourselves to one another. Hopefully, this is starting to feel like on repeat to you. This is where we confess, we repent, we seek forgiveness of our spouse or from our spouse, and we begin to set out together on how to get this flame going again. One of the best questions you can ask your spouse is how can our marriage get stronger? How can I love you and serve you more effectively? What is it that makes you feel loved, makes you feel valued, makes you feel desired? What is it that I can do? And then with great discipline, not teenage, euphoric, butterfly love, with great grown-up discipline, seek to win, woo, cultivate, serve, and make much of your bride, your spouse, your husband, God's gift to you, that the Bible would say, don't neglect, don't forget the wife, the spouse of your youth. Don't let the fire go out. You don't have to. You can choose to, but you don't have to. Let's pray. Father, again, I want to pray for my brothers and sisters in this place and those who are watching this in a living room or a home group or a church building, Father, where desire has failed and fire has gone out. God, I pray that you would give us, maybe start to string these things together, that as we consider and think through and become experts in our spouse's strengths, and we begin to see kind of these unseen jewels that only we get to see, only we get to enjoy, that you would, Father, help us navigate through fires that have gone out, and that you would begin to help build that back up, create a growing heat in that fire, a greater warmth there, a greater gladness there. And that, Father, you might restore to us what feels lost. We thank you for the covenant. We thank you that you will help us sustain our vow to you and to our spouse. Strengthen us in these things. And I pray in the days and weeks and months and years to come that the fires represented in this room and in the hearers of this message might grow so that the world might see a better reflection of your love for your church, your pursuit of your bride, and the divine romance found in the sending of the Son to rescue and ransom the bride. Help us. It's for your beautiful name I pray. Amen. Okay, brothers, here we go. A lot of pressure on now. Now we've heard, we've got Google. We know we've got some things we can do. Wives have been told, okay, let us Google, let us research, let us ask our friends, let us put together a plan. Now the tension is on. The nerve-wracking nature of, oh no, now she knows, and oh no, now he knows, is on. And so here's our homework, and you're welcome for this homework. I want you now to think about, men, I want you to go research, study, Google something. I want you to plan a night out with your bride. You take care of childcare. Let's figure it out. And if you're broke, like we already talked about, this doesn't have to be elaborate and expensive. In fact, my wife's favorite gift that I ever gave to her was a picture of me when I was 5 and a picture of her when she was 5. And I put it in a frame and wrote on the back that before time began, God knew that you and I would be together for the purpose of glorifying His name and enjoying one another. And that, she has talked about that so often and rejoiced in that cheap gift. That gift cost me $7. And so here's our task. Men, let's plan a night out. Let's get childcare taken care of. Let's get together and let's woo the hearts of our brides. Ladies, you know what's coming. Act shocked when it arrives.